Hi everyone, Anthony here. This is Starlight Activation and welcome to my story. If you guys just heard a little buzz in the background, that's one of my bug zappers. Because when you have terrariums and aquariums in a small space, you're going to have little fruit flies everywhere. So occasionally you'll hear that go off. So no, that's not your imagination. Yes, this is a spiritual channel, but maybe that was confirmation. We could look at it like that. Look at it, confirmation. So today's video, I just today came in off of a 3-day trip. And as usual, when I go on a trip, something really cool happens. On day one of my crew, we started talking about spirituality, like right when the trip happened. So we had 3 days of being able to discuss topics. And one of the things that was very interesting, and this has only happened to me once before, is the fact that one time I met someone that had confessed that they have engaged a lot into dark magic. And I could feel the energy of the person, and I understood kind of what they were talking about, and I was trying to kind of like give my impression of, why they would not want to do that. And they were trying to break themselves free of it, but they have been into it for a very long time. What happened this time, though, was a very sweet person that her energy was amazing, and she did a little spell work for her friend, a best friend that is no longer her best friend. And I'll give you the scenario. Her best friend gets a new job, manages to hook up with someone at the new job while they're still with another person that they're living with, and then trades up to the other person. And even so much so that at one job she's dating someone, or seeing, not really dating, hooking up with the intent to break up a relationship with someone who is married, and she's coming in between that relationship. And so the person I flew with, she had told her that if she was going to engage in, trying to break up marriages, she could no longer be her friend. And so they have parted ways. But she did confess that she did some spell work against one of her exes that she was trying to get away from. And I immediately had massive red flags about this, because her energy was not from a dark energy place. Hers was from a light place. I mean, her aura was amazing. And what I told her was, I said, here's a person that that goes from relationship to relationship to relationship, like jump frog. Like you're jumping over one, you're getting to the next one. Jumping over one, getting to the next one. With no really in-game insight into gaining whatever it is that their goal is going to be, I guess. I don't know what that goal is. But leaving a trail of broken hearts that she destroys because she's always got a new person before she lets the old one go. And I said, I think you were with someone who's into dark energy and dark magic, asking you to do the dark magic, and then therefore it's on you at what you had, the spells that you cast. And so over the next 2 days, I talked more about it, and I told her how I would release this. I said, I think you need to apologize to the universe and to the divine and to this person spiritually, and ask for, forgiveness of what you did, and to try and atone for this. I said, because once you put that energy out there, it's going to come back to you. I said, that's why that your friend didn't want to do the spell work. She wanted someone else to do the spell work, and she could claim innocence. That's how I read the situation. Now, on day 2 of the trip, part of the layover is I was lazy. I didn't want to leave the hotel, so I watched a lot of my spiritual videos. And one of them was really cool. It was, of course, Molly with Crossroads Meets the Ocean Rose. And she spent the reading that I listened to, she actually went into people that delve into dark magic. And she said, what you say, what you write, what you think goes out there, and it comes back to you. So if it's negative, it's going to come back to you negative. And she was really talking about cutting the cords between certain situations. So on day 3 of our trip, which was today, I gave her that new information I had just found. And I said, this is really amazing. I said, I had a reading that I listened to yesterday. And I said, I thought of you first off when she started talking about, dark magic and people that engage in dark magic. And I said and another message that came through is that yes, I am as talented as I'm supposed to be, and I need to quit doubting it. That I am, when I'm working with someone, like if I'm counseling someone, or listening to someone, or giving guidance in any way, I have always felt like I've been the mouthpiece, but I'm not sending in the message because I don't know if I would always know exactly what to say. It refers back to how I felt whenever I was used to do prayers at my church with people, and I never would remember what their prayer was, but I always had an answer for it. And then it was always wiped from my memory immediately. Within a second, I did not know what I said. I didn't know what their question was. And that's good because I don't need to know that. But I was channeled, I guess, if you want to call it that. I don't know if I would call it that, but I know that the divine is using me as a voice. And that's how I feel comfortable stating it. And that I am healing. So, because in the readings it keeps coming up that your healing is through your voice. And so that to me was just magical because I had confirmation that, yes, you do have these gifts. You are a healer. The divine uses you. Yes, what comes through is from the divine, is from a higher power. So it's not just me off the top of my head guessing at what I'm going to say, because I wouldn't know maybe where to start, especially when we're talking about dark magic. But I've done enough cord cutting with Archangel Michael to be able to give a perfect example of how I do that every single time and how I release things back into the universe with light and love. And so what was interesting is after Molly's reading, I had one other. But this was much later in the night because I woke up and I couldn't sleep, and I listened to another one that was about a 40-minute long session, and it delved really into, you have the power to, yes, do everything you know you're supposed to do with confidence, that you are divinely inspired, that your voice is your power, and you're standing in your light. Specifically what I always say during my prayer sessions with my guides, I always say that I have an angel posse that helps me, and I go like this: stand in my light, speak my truth, and be on my highest and my best path forward. And I'm always looking up when I say this. And she said it just like that. You are standing in the light, your light, you are speaking your truth, you are a truth speaker, and you are on your highest path. And I just literally, if I wasn't already woke up, it was like a bolt of electricity that woke me up. And I was like, wow, this is coming in so verbatim about things that I have been saying. This is amazing. And it went so much further into your generational ancestors, the ones that are much, much older. We're not talking about the ones from the 3D right now. I'm talking about the ones from the 1500s of the curse that I have broken for this family. And it came out the way they said they wanted me to know. They were so proud because several of them have tried to break the curse and failed. And I was handpicked to break the curse. And they're thrilled that the curse has been broken. And so when I had that new information, I'm like, oh, okay, so it's another layer to say, all right, I know I had to go through what I had to go through with my current husband. And I know what his karmic curse is going to be now for him because he's living it. Because he only wants me back and can't see anything else and has sleepless nights and is furious that I won't respond to any of his messages and can't believe that I've turned my back on him. He can't believe that I've moved forward, and he's watching me progress. Now, I don't know if he watches this channel. I know he watches my aquascaping channel because he said so. So he knows I am okay, and which is a cue for me to, oh, okay, call you or text you back. No, there is no contact between us. He wants to contact. He tries, and I just ignore everything that comes across. Because why bother with it? It's not going to do me any good. It's not going to do him any good. It's not going to get the outcome he wants. He wants reconciliation. He wants to come back in and reuse me. No, that's not going to happen. But what was lovely about the message is that it put another layer on it that, okay, this is all predestined. And we talk about everything being predestined constantly. This is sometimes you have to wait decades to find out why. Everything that I have gone through started at birth, and I can track it like a line on a map. Point A to point B. Every relationship that failed and why it failed, and then ultimately to this one. This one that was going to be my love of my life is what I thought. And in readings, when they talk about this was very hard for me to leave, yes, it was. When I tell you I loved my husband, I mean down to my core. That's why I stayed for 6 years trying to invent new ways to fix the relationship and make him a happier person, and he just wasn't. And he would treat me, and I'm going to say this, literally, I was something to be avoided. I was like an ogre. His personality changed like night and day when he was in front of me. So I could see it firsthand. And when I finally knew I had to leave the state I was living in, which was Florida, I had to come up with a lie to sell my property so I could get out. And that started a 2-year transformation that we are still in right now, where I did try to help him move forward. I tried to guide him on how to come to terms with his spirituality, which he's denying. So we were a twin flame, but he's absolutely so stubborn. He is not leaving his ego. And I don't think he ever will, because he's too wrapped up in the way he looks and the fact that that's all he has going for him. And that's his whole world. So, and of course he has a fake persona at work. Everyone, he thinks, he's just the most wonderful person there. Oh, well, let me show you what he's like behind closed doors. Because it's a completely different person. That's a mask. What he's wearing in public is a mask. And he wore that mask in front of me until about between week 3 and 6 into the marriage. And I knew I made the biggest mistake of my life. And I spent 6 years trying to rectify it or fix it or invent it in a new way. So being on the other side of being awake, which we're coming up to my anniversary next month. This is still April. It's at the end of April, and May is my anniversary date. And I hope to do like a special video on my anniversary to show maybe the progress of what I have done, which is absolutely amazing. So getting back to the readings just gave me such incredible confirmation. But I'm going to tell you something. I had to do shadow work early this morning around 4 a.m. and I only had 10 minutes to do it because I had to get ready to get picked up by our transportation from the hotel. In the readings, it's been coming up, and I kind of been glossing over it, and I've kind of not been paying attention to it because I didn't want to think it pertained to me. That the kingdom spouse coming forward, the one that the divine has picked out, and the one that I have manifested, which is I specifically asked for a list of criteria. Once the divine showed me in a prayer meditation state what was possible in my life, because I was told to dream big, and I've done videos about this, and I wasn't dreaming big enough. Once they showed me what I could do, I knew then who to ask for and how to get it. I knew everything I wanted. And so it just came to me with full clarity, and I started naming things off. This person is going to be a past life connection, because I knew from the first day I woke up that I had a past life connection out there. The last time we were together on Earth plane at the same time, I was their protector. So we know this is a long time ago because we don't use that word. And that during that lifespan, This individual came up with the idea that we would form a pact, a pledge, that the next time we were together, we would find each other. And then it would be like almost like a role reversal. This time, this person will be my protector. And what was so beautiful about that, it's just now started to come out in the readings like that. This person will be your protector. Very specifically, be your protector. And I get it because and I've told this to the divine and my guides many, many times, I don't like to dwell into the negative side and the dark side, because I want to think humanity is better than that. I know what we're going through in the United States, and it sickens me to where I cannot watch any news. So I don't want it to affect my light. I guard my light and my essence with fierceness. And so I try to shelter myself from that. So I would need a protector, because right now my protectors are my guides. They're protecting me from outside influences that could potentially derail me, because I am very sensitive. And being an empath, you can absorb too much. Like, I can't do big crowds. I can't do loud spaces like that. But I specifically said a protector, someone who had financial means, either had a business or knew how to start a business. I listed everything off, and I spent a ton of time on passion and spirituality, that I wanted us linked spiritually and passionately. Now, I'm not talking about, I did ask for sexually, yes, because I do love to have sex. And I think we are created to be sexual and to enjoy sex. So those of you who don't agree with that, sorry, but we are here to have sex, and we're here to have a good time. The divine does not want us repressing any part of our lives to conform to some person on earth's idea of how we should live. That's my personal opinion. So I was very specific. All these things are coming through. So the guy in Longview, Texas, that's the one. Remember, I read his energy the day we met, and I knew he had a good heart. I knew he did beautiful things for people because he wanted to, not because he thought he was going to receive anything as a result of. So there's no hidden agenda. And he's very spiritual. He has a kindness. And I was a little intimidated because I think his family's going to have money. So that came up. And the funny thing is, well, not funny, but the odd thing is, or the coincidence or divine timing, is that in a reading prior to whenever I met him, there was, okay, that's my glucose reader going off, so it's telling me something. I got a message that his wealth would intimidate me. He doesn't intimidate me, not at all. I think his family's money is going to intimidate me just a little bit, because I was raised poor. I mean, my parents were both farmers and migrant farm workers. So I had a very humble upbringing, and I think that might affect me just a little bit. But everything that's coming through now, the one thing that did haunt me, that we're going to talk about now, is the fact that this person has a media presence, a stage presence. And that could be anything on stage, whether it's physically on a television, on a movie screen, on a play stage, on a platform, and is well known. And this person is very good looking, very charismatic. And this person has a lot of eyes on them. A lot of people want to be with this person. This person is going to have eyes for only one person, and that is the divine that they're talking to. So I put myself into that position. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. This person is very good looking, has a lot of people after them, and what do I bring at the table? So I was allowing my doubts of my power, my, not my level, because I realize I'm Emperor Empress energy. That much I realize. And I know what my gifts are. I don't always have the most confidence in my gifts because I want to remain humble, and that I'm working on. But as far as attracting someone that may be perceived out of my league, because More than one channeler has said it's going to shock the public. It's going to shock the public when we're together. But what is also going to be a benefit is that this person is also a light worker. And we are supposed to be coming together for a purpose. We will come together and we'll bring both of our talents together for healing. Like, I'm going to do it with my voice, but I don't know what this person's talent is going to be. But I know mine is with my voice. And we're going to be able to help people. And I love that. I'm so excited about that. Because I really do want another job. I want to not be a flight attendant any longer. And I want to be able to do more of what I'm passionate about, which is my spiritual work and my aquascaping channel. So I found myself doubting that could be me because of the what ifs. Oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not the other, whatever. And so I thought, oh my God, no, I got to get rid of this right now, because I'm like white on rice when it comes to me figuring out there's some shadow work I have to do. I literally went into prayer meditation immediately and confessed these things that need to be pulled out of my realm. And by the time I got to the airport and stepped on the plane, I had the most beautiful, I could say aura or feeling around me. It was pure happiness and joy, pure. Now, I've already been blessed with not worrying, with being, let's see, the worry was the first one, and then it was kind of like no care in the world, and then it was in the passenger seat, letting the divine guide lead the way, and now it is just this beautiful energy of everything is just beautiful. It's just magical and beautiful. Had the best flight I could ever have, and loved the co-workers that I was working with. I got to do more spiritual work today. It was just beautiful. And at the same time, I was trying to shop for some things for this channel that on Amazon that can represent some of my guides. So you guys know that I've talked about this. Like one of my spirit animal is an emerald dragon. Well, okay, I'm gonna let you guys know, when your guides come in and you want to get something in your home space that recognizes them and honors them, oh my gosh, it is so hard to find an emerald dragon. Most dragons are not emerald. In my vision, my emerald dragon is a beautiful emerald dragon, not mean looking like almost all dragons are produced looking. Excuse me. And he is guarding an emerald jewel that's like the size of a mountain. It's magnificent. Okay, could I find anything like that online? No, but I'm getting pretty close to it. I think I picked a suncatcher that has a green dragon in it with a little yellow hints. And I will tell you this, my dragon, the tips of his horns and the sections of his skin had tipped in like a yellowy gold color. So it was beautiful. And then the other difficult one is a white phoenix rising. Almost all phoenixes are purple, red, blue. Very hard to find a green one. I mean a white one. Very hard to find. So I kind of found something that'll work with that I could use for that. And then while I was listening to the second program, it came up that my shadow work is much like the sun and the moon together. That you have the sun, which is your light side, and then you have the moon, which is your shadow side. And so it came to me like then, oh my God, I need a sun, moon, something. And so I have picked out another sun catcher, either a sun catcher or something like a sun catcher that is the sun and the moon together. And I was thinking about putting them in the one big window I have. And that would be, my dragon will be there, a sun catcher will be there. And then I found the coolest, when these things come in, I'll show you, whichever one I ordered. A sun catcher that has the zodiac in it with the sun and the moon in the center, I think. And it's beautiful. So, I saw that and I thought, oh my gosh, I have to have that. That's amazing. So I've got some stuff in my Amazon cart to find that kind of stuff. But that leaves me missing out on, I have a roe deer. Now, dolphins will be easy. They'll be easy. And a brown bear. That should be easy too. because those are widely recognized animals. Now the roe deer, I don't know if I never did the research if the roe deer is actually just a mythical creature or if it's a real creature. But every time I tried to search roe deer, it just kept coming up Bambi. Well, it is not Bambi. It's this magnificent stag with this beautiful light-colored rack on its head, and it's just so majestic. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Anyway, so the point of all this is that I am trying diligently. I mean, in the readings, it does come back out that there's someone in the collective that is diligent, that's spicy, that is in constant contact with their angels and their group. And I'm telling you, yes, that has to be me because I'm constantly talking to them. I'm constantly bugging them. But there was one thing that I felt really bad about. It did come out in a reading that when you argue or when you talk back or when, oh my gosh, you know how many times I've done that? I've done that a lot, but they still love me. So, but I have done that. I've done that. And you shouldn't do that because I realize once you put it out there, you've stated it when you're mad at something, you know, and it can come back on you. So hopefully I don't get in trouble for any of that. I think they would tell me if I did. And certainly Archangel Michael wouldn't have made his visit if I was in trouble for something like that. So anyway, I hope this video resonates with you guys and gives you this renewed energy that when you get to that point, and I know I'm into this 1 year now, and it is a far cry from where I started. From where I started, when I woke up, I knew certain things. That has all just been built upon. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's easy. It is not easy. Shadow work is not easy. Crisis of faith is not easy. Those things, though, that you have to go through are for your benefit. You are going through Earth School. Your job is to get through it. And there's one more, let's see, Crisis of Faith. Oh my God, I can't come up with the word. Okay, I can't remember what the word is. But there's a third one. Dark Night of the Soul. Oh my God, how could I forget that? Oh my gosh, remember my Dark Night of the Soul lasted 7 full days. And it was HELL. It was horrible. So those things I just don't want to go through. Shadow work for me is not a problem. As soon as I recognize it, I get out there and I admit it. And then we try to move on. Because that's the easiest way to deal with it. And for me, it's like hoeing the weeds on a garden. So if you have a garden, I grew up tending a garden, and you know what that's like. You got to keep the weeds out or else it's going to take over your plants that you've planted for nourishment later on. So I hope it resonates. I hope you guys can see the excitement and the joy and the energy that's coming through because I feel pumped with this last trip that I did. And I hope this is the new level that we're working with going forward because I feel like this could get me out of hermit. This and, oh, I forgot, one of the biggest things. Okay, so part of the reading, the second one, talked about a tree family. I was blown away because I thought, oh my God, that's my newest gift. And it said in there that the tree family loves you and that they have gifts for you. I'm like, oh my God, what could the trees have that would be amazing? So I'm so looking forward to that. And if you guys don't know about the tree family thing, it's just a few episodes in the past. It's basically where I went up and touched trees with my palms, and my palms felt like they had just been at a spa and got scrubbed. They were so soft. And I touched the tree with permission and felt the energy pulse of the earth flowing through the tree. And then it energized me and grounded me. And it can also clear my aura. And then somehow I'm doing something for the trees because they talked about that. I'm doing also, by me doing that with the trees, I think I'm sharing my light with them or something, or my essence maybe. Anyway, it's reciprocal. And so I love that. So anyway, until the next video, I'm wishing you guys nothing but light and love. And you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.